Hi, happy solstice. Hello, everybody. My name's Michelle, and we're here on December 21st, 2014, and I'm going to include you on a little bit of this solstice journey that I'm taking. So let me tell you a little bit about what's been going on for me the last few days. Very typically in the theme of this time of really moving into the darkness and being within the shadowland. I've been having a few very, very deep healing experiences over this whole weekend, really. So today's Sunday, and on Friday I had a very beautiful healing experience with a friend of mine. She did a very wonderful session, and part of that journey was bringing my higher self into alignment with my human self. And kind of understanding that I've been a little bit in sort of these two spheres lately and bringing them together. So that was the very short gist of that. And then yesterday, Saturday, I did some interpersonal sort of work, helped by a friend of mine in sort of coaching me through some steps to take in addressing a very challenging situation for me. And then I went to a shamanic healing done by a fantastic friend of mine. It was really intense and beautiful and strange. And at one point I felt like I was going to pass out, and I was sweating and shaking and crying and choking and releasing all of this very very heavy stuff. And so today it feels appropriate to continue that work with this bit of plant medicine ceremony that I'm going to do, which involves eating this habanero pepper. This one. This came with me to the sound healing yesterday, the shamanic healing yesterday, and so it's been soaking in all sorts of very beautiful energies. And I've done some preparation work. I mean, aside from my healing experiences this weekend, I've done some preparation work now in checking in with my my Shaman cards. And so just to share very quickly, I was asking about the theme of this solstice for me, this winter solstice, and specifically this weekend, this journey. And I was told I received the Ancestor of Guidance, which was telling me that, you know, I am guided by all of my ancestors. This is a sacred journey that I'm stepping on. I am surrounded by the spirit of family. And so family, as we think of it traditionally, you know, aside from my human family and my community, all of my spirit guides, all of my ancestors, I have my whole family here with me today. I also received the Ancestor of Exile, and so that speaks to not so much in my case physical isolation or feeling isolated from community, but isolation from self. And going back to the work that I did on Friday about bringing my higher self inside of my being, I feel like that really fits. So that's one of the themes we're addressing today. I also received the spirit of destruction. So I'm receiving some help in destroying blockages, destroying anything holding me back from stepping fully into my path. And I am also accompanied by the Shaman of Sorrows. And so the Shaman of Sorrows walks before me on my path and helps me understand and integrate all of these hard and challenging lessons so that I may move into the light. And so I am in very good company here today. But let's go ahead, and I'm just going to do a little bit of blessing, a little clearing. I have some lovely Palo Santo with me today. We get this going. The candle's a little low. And I am also joined by the spirit of red-tailed hawk. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the blessings. Many, many blessings for this sacred journey here, for this plant medicine. I am so happy and grateful to receive this insight, to receive this clearing, and this burning away of all that is not me and all that which does not serve me. I also have a blessing in mind. I'm going to set some intention for this work here today. And it is with so much gratitude and thankfulness for these many, many blessings, these infinite blessings, that I call upon the universe and spirit guides, animal guides, archangels, ascended masters, beings of the light and love, ancestors and all my relations, and my own self, my inner wisdom, to be present here with me today, now and always, for this highest of healings for myself, for this solstice, for this plant medicine. Please help me to learn what I need to know. Please help me to be in alignment with all spheres of my being. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the blessings. I am so happy and grateful to do this work today. And I must admit, I'm a little bit nervous. I've heard a lot about the intensity of Habañero, and I have a lovely kombucha with me, which hopefully, if I need it, it'll help me feel a little bit less of that crazy intensity. Wow, yeah, I'm a little nervous to eat this. Okay, it's okay. It's part of the process. Cheers. Oh, wow. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. Wow. And there are all the little bits still stuck in my teeth. Oh. Oh. And I'm wondering if I'm going to have another of those experiences like last night. My friend Kat, who was facilitating the ceremony, she was channeling a lot of really beautiful shamanic energies, very intense energy. And at one point she came around and tapped me on the forehead and asked me if I was working. And I said, yes. And then she said, you're working too hard. Oh, and it feels like I'm working hard now. Oh my God. Okay. I'm definitely working now. Okay. But this remark she said of, I'm working too hard. Oh, my face feels like it's melting. This working too hard that I've been doing, an understanding of allowing, the difference between working and allowing, I feel like that's important. I'm really glad I picked mango kombucha. The sweetness is very, very helpful with this intense burning. Oh, God. It's all right here, kind of in the back of my mouth. But I feel as though, I wonder if I'm working so hard that I'm not actually allowing things to take place. And I feel as though I haven't quite determined kind of what's an appropriate level of work and investment and interjecting energy to make things come about versus showing up and allowing. And so this feels like oh my God. Okay. I just need to sit for a second. And I noticed that my inclination is to keep drinking the kombucha because it does go away for a second when I do. And it comes back just as strong. So if this is me working, I'm wondering what allowing feels like. Because apparently that's something that I'm not as practiced at. I don't want to say I'm not good at it, but I'm not as practiced at allowing. Wow. I keep finding little bits of it in my teeth. And so and I wonder how much of this work that I'm doing is me just making things more challenging for myself just for the sake of challenging. I don't really think that I tend to do that. There are some people I know who choose the slowest and most difficult way possible to do everything. And that's okay. And I think that I'm not necessarily one of those people, but I know about myself that I definitely tend to choose challenging circumstances because I like to learn things. And yet there are some challenges that are, I don't want to say I'm unwilling to face them, but they frankly terrify me. And that has to do with a lot of very human things, whereas I'm very comfortable stepping into the fire, so to speak, when it comes to self and spirit, really. I really throw myself into a lot of situations that other people might find very, very intimidating when it comes to connecting with the divine and connecting with healing and shamanic energies. And yet when it comes to a lot of very human stuff, that's where my bonfire is, in terms of throwing myself into the fire. That's where it is for me. And I do take comfort from knowing that I am supported by all of these very beautiful, these ancestors, these spirits, and my community metaphysically. I'm very, very aware of their presence. Got another bit in my teeth. And I think that apparently a focus of this work this weekend is uniting those. And I've always known that that much of my work is about creating a bridge. Let me get this out of my teeth. Much of my work has to do with creating a bridge, whether that's a bridge largely in communication. That's most of the work that I do, but facilitating connection of animals and people, of people with themselves, of humans and spirit. And yet in myself, I seem to have skipped a step about fully embodying and connecting all spheres of myself. And I'm wondering, and so that's, that was addressed on Friday. And there was a lot of releasing that happened last night at the shamanic healing. I'm not entirely sure what was released, but at one point I was coughing. I felt like I was gagging and I had to cough something out of me. And I was just feeling like I was choking and the sobbing and just getting it out of me. And this was, my friend Kat wasn't even working with me directly at that time. It was all just, the movement. It was a very powerful ceremony, very powerful sphere. And it was nice to know that work is just, that's where the ball's rolling to. And I'm just kind of keeping up with it. And so then today, with this pepper, and now it's like sitting right here. Although the intensity in my mouth is fading, now I'm really feeling it kind of right here. That's okay. And so with this physically uncomfortable experience, I'll call it, there's I've come across this particular exercise, in a few different places, several years ago, just as, not really a macho thing, but sort of like to try something new and scary, right? And then, my exposure to this particular idea has been repeated in a variety of ways from different people, and most recently with a friend of mine who promotes this as an exercise to his clients and students regarding the undoing of self. And for me, I don't necessarily feel like I'm undoing self, but for me, what this feels like is an opportunity to do something that is not comfortable and is really, really, and now it's not even so bad. It's just kind of like the feeling of if I've eaten some spicy food. Now my mouth feels more or less okay. I mean, it's still hot, but it's not like that choking, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to throw up hot. But it was, definitely. And I think it's a lesson that I really need to learn, that doing something terrifying, once you're kind of on the other side of it and once you've done it, it's like, oh, there really wasn't all that much to be terrified of. And, not that I was exactly terrified of eating this pepper, but I was nervous. And I think as I approach some of this human stuff that I'm facing that is really outside of my comfort zone in many ways, it involves making myself very vulnerable. And it involves, investigating a lot of patterns that have been established over many years, especially in terms of interpersonal stuff. It's got to happen, really, is what it comes down to. It has to, and if I sort of throw myself into it with this same as I did, I feel good about the way in which I'm working with this ceremony today. I'm calling upon my ancestors. It's all a very healing sort of exercise, and I really would like to remind myself now, so when I watch this later, Michelle, this is a reminder that you can do it, and that there's just and it's not as bad as you think it's going to be, and just kind of do whatever it is, treat it as a healing experience, And I feel weird saying that, treat it as a healing experience, because that sounds as though what I mean to say, let me clarify. The same intentionality that you bring to any aspect of your work, bring to your personal work. That's what I mean to say. Okay, that feels a lot better. So, and I think also understanding that this is actual work. This is work that I'm doing for myself. And it's very easy for me to see when I'm working with other people and facilitating sacred ceremony for others. It's very easy to follow the, excuse me, oh, God. Very easy to follow the, the ritual and to call upon the guides and to understand and to trust. And it's so easy. And then when the time comes for me to do the same for myself, I change the rules, and I need to understand that the rules are exactly the same. That's what I was going to remind myself of. The rules are exactly the same if I'm working with someone else or if I'm working with myself. Okay, make note of that. So I can, moving forward, work on taking my own advice and work on playing by my own rules. And so everything that I do to facilitate ceremony and sacred space for other people, I can do that for myself. And I think that is a very valuable lesson in moving forward. One of the things that I was also guided to work on is looking to myself for guidance rather than looking to the collective or the spirit collective or guide, etc. But looking to the cumulative wisdom of my own highest self. And on Friday, we kind of put my higher self inside of me, and so now I'm calling it my inner self, my inner wisdom. And so it's interesting for me to note where normally I would check in and ask, is there anything else I need to know? And so now I need to ask myself, particularly my solar plexus, where it was sort of agreed upon that I can now ask my body and ask myself for cues about, is this safe? Is this good? Is this, in the highest and greatest good? Okay, rather than asking spirit. And so now I take this opportunity to, and it feels weird because it means I haven't been carrying a pendulum for the last few days, which feels odd to me. But I ask myself, is there anything else that I need to know or anything that I need to address right now? And I'm hearing you don't have to torture yourself in order to learn things, but if that's the way you need to do it to learn the lesson every now and then, okay. And so I think that's in regards to this pepper. Was this torturing myself? No, but you're making it out, or it's like you're making it out to be. Okay. And so I think oh God, I found another piece in my mouth. Okay. I think I need to swish with kombucha. 1 second. That. Much better. It feels as though if I'm turning it into torture for myself. I think that's the point. Yes, that's the point. Okay. Where, so these experiences, like this pepper, like now my mouth feels fine. I mean, it's, again, like I've eaten spicy food, but nothing bad, except when I find little pieces in my teeth. And this particular challenge I'm looking to in the future, I'm hyping it up and I'm making it a whole lot worse than it really is. And so, hearing this, I don't need to torture myself. Okay, well, so that's exactly what's happening is I'm torturing myself. I'm not putting myself in torturous situations, but I am the one who is making them so much harder than they have to be. Oh, that's really overwhelming. Or not overwhelming, it just makes me sad that I am the one who is making things so hard for myself. And apparently I'm getting in my own way. And I can see that. I really can. And so I would like to set another intention now. As I call upon the universe and spirit guides, animal guides, archangels and ascended masters, beings of the light and love, ancestors and all my relations, and my own inner wisdom, to please help me to stay out of my own way. And please help me to make things a little easier on myself. I am so happy and grateful to do this work. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the blessings. So I think that's an important lesson in moving forward, is make things a little easier on myself. I wonder if that will tie back into what I was saying before about allowing. If all this work. Oh, interesting idea. Okay, so it's not so much that I'm doing all this work, I'm just making more work for myself. Huh. Alright, well, if I can get around that one, it sounds as though I'll be saving a lot of time and energy, or, having more time and energy that I can then put toward other aspects or pursuits. And so now I'm going to draw another card, another of my Shaman Oracle cards for outcome / moving forward from this. And I have the Shaman of Tradition. So let's see what the Shaman of Tradition is all about. I'm dropping cards. The Shaman of Tradition. I am the Shaman of Tradition. I burrow into the deepest memories of the land to uncover truth and bring it to the surface, flame lit by the consciousness of all who love life. No matter what you are seeking, I can find a tradition that matches your dreams and aspirations. I stand before you, holding aloft the energies of the inner worlds and bringing these forces to bear upon everything you set out to accomplish. Wow. And that's a really beautiful drawing. So these cards are all based on cave paintings. And so this it looks like some, very interesting sort of a mixed animal being, like kind of like an owl with lion feet and deer antlers, sort of. Let's see. Let's see what else the Shaman of Tradition has to say. Tradition underpins so much of our lives, yet we are often cavalier with it. A tradition can be anything from an ancient ritual, such as midwinter fires or dancing around the maypole, to the morning routines that prepare you for the day ahead. Either way, it is a part of the fabric of what makes us human. The Shaman of Tradition draws on the deep-rooted customs of the land and uses them to fuel our spiritual quest for knowledge. This shaman reminds us that we should never ignore tradition, which is often a vehicle for ancestral wisdom and can offer us vital clues about who we are. Interesting. Well, I feel as though that's appropriate given my my moving forward and treating everything with intentionality and treating everything as ceremony. I'll have to meditate on that one a little further, but I'm feeling as though that's about good for now. Let's see. Checking in with the other inner wisdom. Is there anything else that I need to know or do or talk about right now? I am my own greatest obstacle. Which makes it both the easiest thing and the most difficult to get out of my own way. Okay. Well, thank you, inner self, for that guidance. Thank you, Habañero plant medicine, which I will probably be continuing to experience later today. And thank you to all of my ancestors and guides, all the spirits who showed up for me today and who have shown up for me all weekend. I am so happy and grateful to be doing this work, and I'm so thankful for all of these blessings and this guidance. May these energies continue to integrate gently for the highest and greatest good. Thank you for the blessings. And thanks for participating in that little bit of ceremony with me. Happy solstice and many blessings to you as well.